Here we go.
Did you know that snails have 26,000 tiny teeth all lined up in rows? Escargot with garlic.
Those are fun.
That's awesome.
So, Mayor, thanks for taking some time with me today.
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it. This is awesome.
Yeah, we have been able to make a connection over the last couple of years through the Chamber's Leadership Conference, and actually my story of moving to the Boise area, I landed in Star first. I was going to Boise State, and I found on the Student Union building there's a cork board of you could get a job, you can find places to live, and I found a place that room and board in Star, and I worked for an older couple that ran a horse boarding company right off of Bent Lane, just west of downtown Star.
Yep.
And that was a great introduction into the Valley.
It sure was, yeah. And at that time, it was quite a bit smaller, wasn't it? Not as hustle and bustle as we're going right now.
Well, the Merc was there, the saloon was there, and the Eggman had triple yokers.
That's right. Triple yokers are the best.
So, hey, this is a great opportunity. Share the history of Star and then a little bit about your family history as well.
Sure. So back in the late 1800s, Star kind of got its name from an old schoolhouse that was just, I think about a mile east maybe of our current downtown, where some ranchers and stuff nailed a big old star up on the schoolhouse. And it became a focal point for people that were traveling in the area back at that time frame. And that's kind of how it got its name. The city didn't officially incorporate until 1905. And at that time, it went about 4 miles in all directions. Actually, if you think about it, 16 square miles for a small town of about 500 at that time, right? In 1929, I believe it was, the city unincorporated decided the state was trying to make the citizens pay for a highway through the town, and they decided to unincorporate and stick it back to the state. Go figure that, right?
Right.
And then we reincorporated as a city in 1997 on December 12th, 1997. And so we're on our 25th year again, like we were last time, right? But we don't have any plans of unincorporating at this time. So that's kind of the history of Star, and Star's rapidly growing. I was out here in 1993, met my wife, and there's probably 300 people out here. There was a whole lot of people, and today we have probably close to 15,000, I would guess.
Wow.
Yeah. And my family's history. My family's been in Idaho. My mom's side since before the state was a state. On my dad's side, my dad is from Emmett. Was born and raised in Emmett, and my grandpa came from LeGrand on that side to Emmett, and started he was the laundry guy there. He started a business cleaning people's laundry and was on volunteer firefighter. On the other side, on my mom's side, my grandfather was a lieutenant governor, senator here in Idaho, ran against Cecil Andrus in the 70s for governor. My dad was an executive director for the Idaho Association of Counties, and was also a deputy attorney general under Jim Jones back in the 80s. And so we got a long history here in Idaho as a family, I guess, on both sides.
Well, and then obviously maybe spawned your interest into being a servant of the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I celebrated my 50th birthday last year. I told my folks, I don't think I was ever going to do this. And they go, no, we knew you were going to do this just based on how I was over the years. But I ran for city council back in 2015, and then ran for mayor in 2019. I was on the city council for 4 years and then became mayor, elected in 2019, and started my term in 2020.
Wow. Well, I can only imagine how the population increase has impacted your community. And I'd love you to talk a little bit about that impact that the population has had on Star, positively as well.
Sure.
And then, Yeah, we'll start with that.
Okay, so the population increase, COVID really changed things, I think, for a lot of folks, right? We had moderate growth, I guess, in the 2015 to 17, 18 timeframe, 19. But when COVID hit, it really made people change directions on where they wanted to be, right? And provide them opportunities to live elsewhere while working for the same companies, right? I mean, we're seeing that a lot here in Star.
Yep.
We used to get an average about 275 housing building permits per year. And last year we had 711, and this year we're on track for 800. So it just kind of shows you the mass migration that's happening, not just in Star, but in the Valley as a whole, right? It's huge. The biggest thing that the complaints that we hear are obviously traffic, right? You try to get in the Star, traffic is horrible, but that we're growing too fast and they're worried about changing the culture. And I try to tell people the culture is not necessarily by the size of your city, but it's in the heart of the people, right? So you can maintain the small town culture, the neighborly, the friendliness, and all that. It's up to us to do that. And I try to push that message a lot with folks out here as well. I mean, honestly, if I would love to see it be a small towns too, but I understand people have that right to move where they choose, right?
Yeah,
So.
Absolutely. Hey, so tell us a little bit about, you're a city that is in the middle of two counties.
Correct. Yep.
Tell us about that intricacy.
So we are a dual county city. Back in 2000, so when I say that, we're in both Ada County and Canyon County. Back in 2006 timeframe, that's when the city first annexed in the Canyon County all the way to Kingsbury. So right before that Great Recession at that time, there was plans for a lot of homes on all that acreage that annexed 2 miles west. And then the recession happened and nothing happened at that time frame. Since 2018-ish timeframe, we've had more lands annexed over there, and so we're two counties, so we're dealing with two different counties on everything, right? We got Canyon County that we deal with growth issues in Ada County. My police services are contracted through Ada County Sheriff, so we had to get an agreement in place to allow them to patrol on the Canyon County side. And when they make an arrest, they got to go to Canyon County Jail on the Canyon County side. When they make an arrest on the Ada County side, they go to Ada County Jail. So it's kind of unique, and we have two different prosecuting services agreements. We have two different, well, I guess the police, when we're talking about the jails, we have the two different agreements there as well, right? So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. There's a couple cities in Idaho that are in multiple counties, but I think Star has the biggest impact of being in two counties at the same time. So.
Well, I'm so glad that you're there to help navigate that. There's probably more things that you get to deal with on a daily basis.
Yes, it's awesome. And we just so the mayor of Star just became a full-time position this year in January. It was a part-time position since it became a city in 1997. But with the growth and all the things we're dealing with, we felt it's necessary to make it a full-time. Even though I was working full-time hours here and full-time at my other job when I was part-time mayor for 2 years.
Yep.
Now I spend all my time here focusing on the city's needs, which is great.
Hey, Albertson's just moved into town. It's a large employer there in your city. Tell us about some of the other job opportunities in the city of Star.
Yeah, so we had Albertsons that moved in. We had Ridley's that moved in a year before that. Les Schwab showed up. We have smaller businesses that are here. I mean, we have some great success stories, especially during the COVID era, right? With businesses in Star like Sea Salt Creamery, an ice cream and dessert place.
Yep.
The Rustic Table restaurant. We have the Merc that's still here, that's been here for over 100 years, and that family still operates it, which is awesome, right? Sully's restaurant. I mean, we got a lot of different opportunities. We have a great manufacturer moving in that's building right now on Highway 16 and 44. It's Greylock Custom Cabinetry, and they got a 100,000 square foot facility they're building right now. And in fact, they just started raising their tilt-up walls this week, and that's generated a lot of interest in folks, right, to see that over there. And that's going to be a beautiful building. So what's really cool about them is, when you think about a manufacturer, that you think about just a square building or whatnot, just a warehouse style to be able to manufacture it. These guys spent the money and the time and the effort to create a showpiece that as you're coming into the city, it's going to be a beautiful facility with glass and curvatures and stuff like that on there, which is really cool.
Neat
We do have,
yeah,
great architecture. We do have, I've been working with some other outfits. I got approximately $150 million worth of additional business folks that are interested in Star and coming in the Star. A couple of corporate headquarters, a couple other facilities as well. I can't really say because it gives it away. But the interesting part here in Star is we have a staff of 13 people. That's it for everything that we do. So as a mayor, where other cities have different staff members that handle the economic development, things like that, that all falls on me, and that's what I deal with. Wow. Out here. So I'm trying to, I've always said when I ran for mayor that I wanted to bring businesses here for a couple of purposes. One is to help relieve the tax burden, property tax burden on the residents. So we have the businesses here to provide job opportunities locally and to provide services locally without having to go 7 miles in any direction, because we're kind of like at the center there. Right. And it's starting to happen, which is awesome to see. So
I love it. Tell us about the any upcoming news as far as there's a community that's growing south of the river.
Yes. So we approved the south of the river plan. So we had an opportunity as a city. This is several. I mean, we're talking almost probably 1,000 acres, close to 1,000 acres of land down there that has not been developed, right? And a majority of that is owned by a ranching family down there, the Stillwells and Phillips. And we were like, okay, as a city, what do we want to see as a city? How do we want to see that develop instead of just, you get housing tracts here and there. So we decided to get a whole bunch of community involvement and input, hired a consultant, and it took us about 1.5 years to develop what's called the South of the River Plan, which we consider it to be like a San Antonio Riverwalk style development, right? So this plan will have commercial opportunities, recreational opportunities, residential opportunities. If you think about canalways that you could paddleboard through and canoe through, walkability along those canals with outdoor eateries, outdoor venues, or you can think about it as the village on steroids, I guess, in a way, right?
Yeah.
Here. We've always said that we would love to see that ranching family stay and ranch, because people enjoy seeing the cows and the calves in the springtime and things like that. But the reality is at some point, development's going to offer a lot of money for that property. And we wanted to make sure that we had a master plan for that area for our community, which is really going to make Star stand out, right? We have a lot of green space in this plan where you have a lot of walkability, pathways, fishing opportunities. There is if you go to staridaho.org and go look for the South of River plan, there's a flyover you can go look at to kind of give you a visual of what this could look like over there.
That's what I got scrolling on the bottom. I know you can't click on it. However, that's the link and the route to get to that flyover. I watched it as we were prepping for this call, Mayor, and it's really cool. I love look at renderings of future projects, and it looks like you're in a one of those little like a high level drone that's flying through the future of this, and it is really cool.
It's really cool. And to go along with that, we created what's called an architectural overlay on what with the architecture we want to see. And this came from, I bet you we had 1,000 comments or whatnot from folks out here. About 1,000 citizens participate overall in this plan, overall, which provided us with this mountain modern theme that we want to see, with wood beams, timber, the granite rock style structure, sandstone style structure. It's going to be really cool looking when that happens. And we actually incorporated that same look down Highway 44 in Star in our central business district to try to get a common theme instead of the hodgepodge of different looks, for lack of a better term, I guess.
Yeah, no, this is great. So there's lots of mixed use here on this whole plan. What's the acreage on this?
Oh, it's probably close to 1,000 acres.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. it's quite the large acreage out here. It goes all the way to Chinden Boulevard
Yep.
on the south side and to the river on the north side, Highway 16 to Canada Road. Yeah.
That's so cool. And I haven't been out there in a little while, but has there shovel ground already been happening?
Yep. So we've had some developers come in and start executing this plan that we wanted. They actually got involved early on with us when we're talking about what we wanted, and you'll start seeing some of the housing and commercial aspects happen more towards Chinden right now. But the stuff down on the bottom and the flats was probably going to take a couple years before that happens. And the city didn't buy any of this, and we're not paying for the development. The development community will do that. We just provided the plan as what we wanted to see the city look like in the future.
Okay. I love that. I think one thing that for people to know that you and I are having this conversation because our chamber is the regional
Yep.
advocate for businesses from Mountain Home to Caldwell and everything in between. So I love this collaboration and getting to share a little bit about what's going on in our neighbors here in the Treasure Valley. Hey, I also want to talk a little bit about we talked about the new project, and you guys have some recreation access, and obviously the river. But just give us some of the top 4 things that you can recreate in Star.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Hunters Creek Park. Obviously, it's a sports complex. You can't miss it. It has an 80-foot flagpole with a 20 by 30 flag right in the center of it. It's our sports complex. We do our 4th of July celebration every year, and that's huge, right? And I get donations and sponsorships to make it even bigger this year, and people are ecstatic about that. But with that, we're very outdoor friendly. We've created a master trailways and pathways plan also for the city of Star that we just adopted here. I think it was a month and a half ago.
Yep.
We have what's called the Star River House area. We have about 80 acres right along the Boise River on the south side of town that has a couple ponds that we're building what we're calling Dockzilla in there. They're like 18 surface acre ponds that are 45 feet deep. They're stocked with fish. We'll have this huge dock that goes about 50 foot out into the water, has a 50-foot platform and 2 wings on it, and covered area and benches and all that, and picnic tables on it. So you could picnic, you can rent it for parties, you can fish off of it. You'll be able to swim out there. We're going to rent paddle boards and stuff out of our River House barn. It's a cool facility, and a lot of that's going to be natural out there. We're going to leave it natural with pathways and trailways through it to keep that rural feel right out here in the community. We have areas up towards the foothills where we're going to have pathways and trailways where we got some land dedicated to us, about 60 acres, plus about 100-acre section of BLM land that are going to tie together, that you'll be able to walk and ride your mountain bikes and stuff like that up in that area. So we're trying to create this outdoor environment so you don't have to travel very far if you don't want to recreate in your own town. And people love it and enjoy it. We have a dog park coming online here at the end of the month. When you look at the area, we're going to have a grand opening on April 30th from noon to 3, I think it is, or 11 to 3. But if you look at the aerial of the dog park, it looks like a dog's paw. It's really
cool.
It's really cool. Yeah. And we have a large dog area and a small dog area in there with amenities and whatnot. And it's a much needed amenity for our community because we got many, many people that have fur babies that are family members, right, that need to get out and play. So,
yep.
And, so there's a lot of cool stuff that we're doing in our community. And with development happens, we're asking some developers that are coming in, we're asking them to build us another regional sports park. Right. And so when they do that, they're going to deed that to the city and we'll take care of it, but they're going to develop it for us. So we have more outdoor recreational opportunities with a 20 or 30 acre, another regional park. So
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys can host some baseball tournaments.
We do already at Hunters Creek. I bet you that's the best field. If you go out to Hunters Creek, we did some improvements and we're about ADA, right? We're about accessibility to all. And so we've been working our tails off over the last couple of years to make sure that everybody can utilize all these facilities, and so we have this great big blue star in the concrete out there between the baseball fields at Hunters Creek. So it looks really cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, Mayor, I know I don't want to take up much of your time, and thank you for investing in the chamber. Thanks for investing in the entire community. I always love seeing you. I look forward to our next conversation, Mayor.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for your time.
Hey, and it's Easter weekend, and I know you have a big event, your egg extravaganza.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, our Star Chamber is doing an extravaganza this weekend. It was going to be at Hunters Creek tomorrow, but because of the weather, they moved it up to the middle school. At Star Middle School is where it's going to be hosted tomorrow.
Okay.
So just if people are watching, make sure you go there.
Awesome. Hey, we're always good at shifting our sails nowadays, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, Mayor. Hey, thank you so much. Talk soon.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.